I feel so guilty.
Why?
Because we keep winning these games. But, I mean, at least I'm paying for it.
At least we are paying for it. That's just a good investment.
Hey, welcome to Thy Kingdom Come. We're a podcast where we talk all things Chiefs and NFL. I did that slower this week to make it a little bit more understandable for the people.
Yeah.
For the people. We're
He's
here
calling
for
you
the
dumb.
people. I'm not calling you dumb.
Can't understand.
I'm just saying I'm
Fast
understanding you as a person. I'm understanding you. So, yeah, I'm Justyn. I'm sitting again with Josiah here. And, man, feelings and reasons and things happened this weekend. It was the Thanksgiving games, and a lot went on. So we'll talk about that. But we're going to start with some news, injuries, and signings. Obviously, there's no signings. Before we jump into that, do you got anything?
No. No, I'm feeling pretty good. We went through the record of the picks from this past week, and I'm feeling great.
Oh, you suck. I did really well this week, but Josiah
really well.
did one game better.
A little bit better.
We're not going to talk about that now.
No.
All right, so just addressing some news. One big thing that happened this weekend is Patrick Mahomes passed Len Dawson for all-time franchise leader in passing touchdowns with 238. Len Dawson did it in 211 games, and Patrick Mahomes did it in 108. Quickest to ever reach 238 touchdowns. Kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Next, Chris Jones passed Justyn Houston for fourth place in sacks in franchise history. He's now sitting at 80.5, which puts him only 5 behind Neil Smith and 9 behind Tamba Hali. Now, I think it's realistic to say he could get to the Neil Smith mark at 85.5. He would have to have an absolute insane rest of the season, averaging 2 sacks a game for the rest of the year to catch up to Tamba Hali. Honestly, you'd probably have to have more because realistically, if we clinch by week, like say we only have one loss going into week 18 and the Bills lose another one, we're probably resting everybody week 18. Realistically, if it's possible, I say we rest people on Christmas or the Saturday before Christmas because we got 3 games in 10 days coming up, or 11 days technically, but that's insane. And speaking of, Chris Jones said he was going to go to the NFLPA and complain a little bit, saying if we're going to have 3 games in 10 days, we need to have a late year bye. Has to happen, and I agree, because then that's when injuries happen, right? Your body doesn't have time to rest, and you're playing. Like, this is the nitty-gritty of the season, right? People are already dealing with, like, nagging injuries. They're not getting the proper rest they need. Now, this week is going to be a little bit longer of a week because we played on Friday, so we have a little bit more rest than the Chargers, but, yeah, he's a little frustrated about that. So, more great news. Hollywood Brown is looking to come back sooner rather than later. Per sources from Ian Rappaport, Brown has an appointment in Week 15 with a surgeon for final clearance that will likely allow him to play in Week 16 or 17, giving him a potential 2 to 3 weeks to get acclimated with the offense again and get into a rhythm before the playoffs. Because another good thing that happened this weekend, we clinched the playoffs.
Yeah.
We're officially in.
Somewhere. We're in there.
Yeah.
It may even be on the NFC side. We don't know.
Hey, Josiah?
Yeah.
We know that part.
We do?
Yeah, we're not on the NFC
Oh,
side.
sweet. Perfect. Okay. Look, I was just worried about it because it's tough over there.
We're an AFC team.
Yeah.
So we're on the AFC side.
All I know is that we're in the playoffs somewhere.
Okay, yeah. Over the rainbow.
But we are Because no one else clinched the playoffs this week.
Bills clinched their division.
Oh, right.
So Bills clinched the playoff spot, I believe. I think they clinched the playoff spot and their division at the same time. So they Chiefs and the Bills are, I think, the only two to clinch a playoff spot. Detroit may have.
Well,
I'm
yeah,
not
I
sure.
guess it'll depend on
the
the
NFC is a mess.
I mean,
who really has?
Yeah.
Who really has any idea? Because realistically, I think Detroit, Green Bay, and the Vikings are all going to the playoffs. Anyways, that's another thing.
Yeah.
Coming in news from the presser this week, Andy Reid did not give a confirmed starter at left tackle for the Chargers game on Sunday, saying it's not fair to name Humphries the starter yet. He did say if Humphries okay, we'll give him a go. And he also said Joe Thuney at left tackle is an option if Humphries isn't deemed ready to go, which makes it seem like Wanya Morris might be in the doghouse.
Yeah. Sorry, man.
Pro Football Focus gave Wanya Morris 12 pressures. Who I think it was like ESPN or the AP gave him, I think, 8 pressures. Either way, way too many pressures this week. That leading into Mahomes has been sacked 32 times this season, which is 4 more than he's been sacked in his career in an entire season. And we still have 5 games left.
Yeah,
we have 5 games left.
You won't get sacked again.
Yeah. I mean, maybe if you move Joe Thuney out and bring in Mike Caliendo. Mike Caliendo did pretty good on the inside, filling in for Joe Thuney that moved out to left tackle. It took Joe Thuney a couple of snaps to kind of get acclimated.
Which makes sense.
But, I mean, who knows what's going to happen with that line. I liked Mike Caliendo on the inside. I think it helps that he also had Creed Humphrey to his right and Joe Thuney to his left. So he's kind of surrounded by help. Whereas Wanya Morris, when you're on that tackle position, you're just kind of out in no man's land. So, yeah, there's that. And then kind of ending the news, we got some more good news for a player that has been kind of seeking help this week after just kind of a tough time. DeAndre Hopkins said he found a therapist because he dropped a ball. We do wish him the best.
Funny, Justyn.
Oh, sorry. We do wish him the best, and we can't wait for him to get better. For those of you who can't read sarcasm, this is it, and you missed it. Okay. All right. Thanks.
It's gone.
It's gone.
Yep.
You want to see
Just
my
like
care?
our spot in the NFC.
You want to see my care face? It was there. You missed it. But that's kind of all the news I have right now. So. Yeah, that being said, kind of jumping into the recap for the weekend, I'm man, my feelings. We watched the game together.
We did.
And
that was fun.
I want
to say, that was fun. That part of it was fun.
There was a point of it where I went off for probably 5 or 6 minutes.
He did.
Just about the left tackle position. Tackle position in general and blocking. And I got kind of angry a little angry.
You did.
Got a little angry, right?
You did.
Not the greatest. Not the greatest look for me. But what is your initial reaction kind of to the game?
Just looking at the comparison between the last time we played them, I mean, granted, Aiden O'Connell wasn't playing last time we played them, but it's night and day. I mean, it's just night and day.
Yep.
Their offense was able to get going a lot quicker.
Yep.
And they were clicking basically. I mean, especially like all the way up until the last drive. Like
right.
They were able to go down the field and score on us.
Should have scored a whole lot more.
This should have scored a whole lot more.
Yep.
Because they missed the kicker missed 3, 4. He missed 4.
4 field goals.
Whoa.
I believe. Wait. I can pull that up, actually. It might have been 3. Thought it was 4.
Oh, it's 3.
He did miss 3. Yep.
He missed 3. So 9 points. So either it should have
and
been
Daniel Carlson's a really good kicker. I'm quite surprised.
He should have had 14 points.
Yep.
Instead, he only had 5. So it should have been 26-19, but it wasn't. So we got a little bit of luck there.
Well, I think it would have been. 14's right. Never mind. I can't math this early in the morning.
Yeah,
but
it's fine. It's fine. So, yeah, I mean, it's we've been struggling these past few weeks. I don't really know what else to say besides what we said last week, which is just, Mahomes does not have enough time on the offensive side of the ball. I was very happy to see them actually do something about it.
Yeah.
Which, once it started becoming an issue, I mean, he was sacked, 5 times?
It was almost too little too late. He was sacked.
It was.
He was sacked 5 times.
Yeah, but they usually are pretty patient. Like, he's been sacked 5 times before, and they haven't pulled somebody out of the game.
Yeah, that was last week.
Right.
That was literally last week.
And so,
they
finally had a breaking point.
This is 2 weeks in a row where he was sacked 5 times for at least 40 yards. Now, one of those was kind of his own fault because he fumbled that ball and lost 17 yards when he was kind of doing his little roll thing. So that was kind of his fault, but
yeah,
still.
Yeah, but last week is more frustrating to me than this week because this is a division team that always plays this close.
Man,
I don't. Now with last week and now this week compounding on top of it, it feels more frustrating. If this happened in a vacuum, I don't think I'm as frustrated as I was last week because that game we should have won, no problem.
Yeah.
So, but it's the same issues just repeated.
Yep.
That we talked about last week, and I know that you will have more to talk about it.
Well,
but I mean, we allowed last time we played him 195 yards passing and 33 yards of rushing.
Yep.
This week was 318 total passing yards and 116 yards rushing.
Yeah.
Well, so that's the rushing stat is kind of what really tells.
Technically, we gave up 340 yards passing to Aiden because you take away the sacks or whatever for total passing yards, but he threw for 340 yards in the air.
Yeah.
And 2 touchdowns of more than 30 yards, which is insanity.
And we sacked him 3 times and sacked Gardner Minshew 5 times.
But it's
So it's just we didn't have an answer for their especially their run game.
No, the Amir Abdullah
Yeah. Yeah, and the secondary again. With Jacoby Myers and Brock Bowers
as well.
He didn't play last time.
Nope. So, I mean, you had a rookie and a third stringer playing this game. So, and they kind of torched us.
Yeah.
But
it's just the same thing that we were talking about last week.
I mean, I gotta just compound on last week from you, right? I have frustration, just overall, right?
Yeah.
And man, it starts with pass blocking. I have frustration with allowing 20 pressures on Patrick Mahomes. I have frustration not turning pressures into sacks for the Chiefs. Yes, we did do a little bit better this week, but not good enough to prevent Aiden O'Connell from passing for 340 yards. Right? If we can get to the quarterback quicker, that doesn't allow time for those downfield passes. Right? You got to make sure that you are allowing your defensive backs. You're not giving too much time to where a receiver has a chance to kind of make an additional move and get open. Right? You kind of want it to be one move, maybe 2 moves, and the play to be over. Right, you don't want to give up those big plays, and we're giving up those big plays. And I mean, that's just it's frustrating to see especially after the last 2 years. Chiefs have had 55 and 57 sacks respectively in the last 2 years, and man, it's just frustrating to see our defense struggle to get to the quarterback. There's only 5 games left. We're not getting near 50 sacks. Like I said, we would have to have an absolute insane last 5 games. We would have to average 5 sacks a game to get close to 50, and that would still only put us at 49. So I'm just frustrated overall with the fact that the last 3 weeks, really, all 3 phases of our offense have not been looking great. It's kind of like that Philadelphia Eagles thing from last year, right? They started off 9-1, 10-1, and then wound up ending 11-6, and then losing the first round of the playoffs to the Buccaneers. I don't see that happening, but man, any given Sunday, right? So, yeah, that's kind of like my initial thing. Also, the play calling was not good in the second half. We had 4 designed runs in the second half. 4. Only 4. Right? At one point, Patrick Mahomes was, over the span of 30 play calls, passed the ball 29 times.
Wow.
You're essentially telling your quarterback, all right, go figure it out. Go figure it out, right?
Well, he's not the worst guy to do
Well,
that.
we also decided to throw on 3rd and 2 when we have Isaiah Pacheco and Kareem Hunt in the backfield. That would have sealed the game, right? That whole last drive by the Raiders wouldn't have happened if we would have potentially just given it to Kareem Hunt or Isaiah Pacheco. Put Isaiah Pacheco in there with the I formation with Kareem Hunt lead blocking, and just see put Leo Chanel back there blocking for one of them. We've done it several times before. That dude loves to put his nose down and hit people. Let's go make a play. And, what happened to our screenplays? What happened to our play action plays where Mahomes fakes the handoff, rolls out, and just tosses it for a first down? We've done that on so many occasions. Where's the play calling? It's not in a good spot. Not in a good spot. I digress.
Yeah.
So
great.
I guess okay. On another, what's kind of your key plays that happened that kind of ultimately led to us winning the game?
Well, this one's more spectacle. This isn't anything that we did, but the last play of the game. Essentially the last play of the game.
Key plays.
It's more of a key
play.
It's a key play only because this keeps happening. Things
Right.
like this keep happening.
Well,
where we win, we just find ways to either we make an incredible play on a blocked field goal, we win at the last second by going down the field, or our defense makes a good play, or we just pressure the other team into just miscommunications.
Yep.
Making
mistakes.
They make mistakes, miscommunicate, and good on Aiden O'Connell for taking the fall for that one, because he said that he clapped, and that's what he was the center's taught to do whenever he came out of college.
Yep.
So, but it just speaks to the broader, kind of the broader message of the season that just the Chiefs do seem inevitable.
Right.
That if we're not directly making these plays happen, we're at least impacting the other team into doing something that screws them up.
Well, and something Chris Jones said. Chris Jones credited our crowd, like the fans in the stadium, to helping force that kind of misplay, right? But it also comes down to preparation. Okay, so you look at, the block field goal, that's a fluke. No, it was preparation.
That was right.
Yes. We noticed something with the offensive linemen on that side, and we adjusted our game plan to that, right? The Chiefs are probably the most prepared team when it comes to late game, close game situations. We've played more close games than anyone. We've won more close games than anyone. Look at Mahomes' record throughout his career. I don't know what it exactly is, but it's absolutely insane. Like his win percentage in close games and one-score games is astronomical. His win percentage when losing at some point in the game is astronomical. So it's one of those things where it comes down to preparation. We prepare our guys in the season for close games and how to win late and how to stay composed in those situations. Most other teams don't because they don't have to. A lot of teams aren't playing close games late in the season. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, that's just kind of compound on your kind of key play.
It looks like less than a month ago he had a 70% win percentage in one-score games.
Yeah, and we've won 3 since then. 3 close game, one-score games since then, I think. Mm-hmm. So
I think, according to this, it's the most by any QB in NFL history.
Yeah. Oh, it's
in one-score games
by a long shot.
Yeah.
Too. I think the next closest guy
minimum
is
50 games played.
Yeah, I think the next closest guy is like more than 10% below him. But yeah, it's just one of those things that we're prepared, right? For me, key plays are the DeAndre Hopkins Mahomes connection. Just in general, they're looking more comfortable with each other. Hopkins did only have 4 catches, but it was for 90 yards to go with an absolute, almost insane catch down the sideline behind the defender with one hand. He actually stopped the ball, and as he was bringing it in, I think it hit the defender and kind of got knocked out, which it did end up being a DPI on the defender there, and he also caused another big DPI on a defender later in the game that resulted in like a 26-yard gain after penalty. But also there was Chris Jones had 2 sacks, which were very highly influenced by Charles Omenihu. Yes, those sacks were earlier in the game, which we're kind of used to seeing sacks later on in the game to kind of seal the situations, but it was very obvious that Omenihu makes a huge difference in the way that our playmakers on the defensive line can get to the quarterback. Charles Omenihu has been waiting, and he's been tweeting just kind of crazy tweets. God's blessed. I'm coming. It's almost time. He tweeted a clock like 4 times in the last month. And he's been itching and ready, saying he's hungry, he's ready to eat, all this stuff. So he's kind of it's been culminating to this moment, right? Mm-hmm. And he showed that he is kind of the answer we needed with our pass rush. Now we do still need to turn those pressures into actual sacks. I think we're like 7th in hurries in the NFL right now, that causing, or 3rd in hurries, something like that, where we're causing hurries on more than 50% of plays, causing the quarterback to move, but we're not turning those into sacks, right? Not turning those into sacks. And a lot of times it's the quarterback moving up in the pocket and being able to throw downfield, which is not great, especially in the last 3 games. So, those are kind of my big key plays. So looking at everything that happened this week, what is something or some things that the Chiefs really need to improve on for you? For me, I'll go first on this one. I'll go first on this one.
Okay.
Again, compounding on last week, I don't think a lot changes from last week when it comes to improvements. I think a lot of the similar things that happened against the Panthers happened against the Raiders.
Yeah.
Right? The Raiders should have scored a minimum of 26 points. Minimum.
Yeah.
Right?
And that had nothing to do with us. It seemed like.
Well, right. The reason they missed is because their kicker missed the field goals.
Right.
Right? The reason they lost the game is because their center snapped the ball before anybody was set and ready. And so, I mean, people are going to blame it on the refs, the reason they lost, but the Raiders had 4 very unforced errors.
No, we should have checked the center for an earpiece. I'm so sorry. I'm embarrassed.
for
I
him.
should have. No, like we should have figured out a way to check the center for an earpiece to make sure the refs weren't telling him what to do.
Oh, yeah.
Man, dude.
No.
Like,
True.
oh man,
I'm
it's
really
almost
glad.
like the rep. That's the only way the refs could have told him to clap.
Yeah.
Or to snap the ball whenever Aiden O'Connell was clapping.
My money's going to a good place, and I'm glad to see it happen.
That's good. I know. I've spent
Glad to
so
see it
much
happen.
money on these refs.
But I mean, we've got to convert in the red zone too, though.
Yeah.
We've got to convert in the red zone. In the last 2 games, we are 3 for 10 on converting touchdowns in the red zone. We were 1 for 5 this week. We were 2 for 5 last week. In the Bills game, we were 3 for 3. Good. But you can't go. I mean, even adding that to it, we're still only 6 for 13 in the last 3 games. That's a terrible percentage. Terrible. Now, I will say our red zone percentage is actually 1 percentage higher than it was last year.
Oh.
Yeah.
Last year was so great.
So
in
great.
The regular season.
But
we
we have the weapons to be way better than that.
Yeah.
And we're play calling and execution and penalties really are what's holding us back in the red zone. Penalties have been huge, and it's noticeable that we've got guys that are struggling to maintain pass blocks and stuff. So, but that, I mean, like I said, that comes down to pass blocking, and really the motto for our offensive line should be do your job, right? So you do your job well, it makes everybody else's job around you a little bit easier.
Yeah.
Right? You don't have to have Travis Kelce chipping a guy just to help you block him, right? You don't have to have Joe Tooney reaching out or Trey Smith reaching out and chipping a guy while having to also block a guy. You don't have that happening because you're doing your job. You got to execute on your job, and you got to do it well.
And I think that the same could be said for the defensive line, because if they get to the quarterback quicker, like we talked about secondary issues, which are big issues. Like whenever a throw happens, they have to be able to do their job. Like the Jacoby Myers play that we talked about multiple times, where Aiden O'Connell did throw an underthrown ball. He did make a good
underthrown
play, but it makes the secondary look so bad because as soon as he catches the ball, there are 4 Chiefs defenders literally in a square around him.
Yep.
And so it just makes them look bad.
And it's not Aiden O'Connell putting the ball where no defenders could get it. He underthrew that ball by 2 yards.
Yeah.
And Jacoby Myers was able to like rotate backwards and like fall down to get it. That was not how the play was designed.
No, it wasn't. At all. No. And if they can get to the quarterback, if the defensive line can get to the quarterback, then he's not going to be able to make throws like that comfortably from the pocket every single game. Not to say he wasn't pressured. I'm not saying that. But just like you're saying with the offensive line, if they do their job well, then the secondary there's not as much pressure because there's not as many balls coming their way.
Right.
And so I think that that's a big deal. And yes, figure out the left tackle position.
Right.
Because that really has been hurting us.
Yes.
So
agreed.
So yeah, those are the biggest things. And like you said, it's the same as last week.
Same as last week.
So, but anyway, now we're on to the Chargers.
Yeah. So we won the game.
We did win the game.
We won the game. 19-17. A win is a win, right? We've been saying it all year, even though these wins kind of feel bad.
We said it last
I
year
feel
too.
so guilty.
Record.
I feel so guilty.
Why?
Because we keep winning these games. But I mean, at least I'm paying for it.
At least we are paying for it. That's just a good investment.
My money going to work. Yeah. All right. So yeah, we've got the Chargers next. Coming up with the Chargers. So there's a few things that kind of worry me about the Chargers. Okay. Their offense does seem to be clicking kind of at the right time, going late into the season. And their offense does not turn the ball over, right? So the Chargers offense is third best in the NFL with a plus 11 turnover differential. So that not only says that they don't turn the ball over, that also says that their defense does. Okay? So it's something that they do well, right? They get possession of the ball when they're on defense, and they maintain possession of the ball when they're on offense. So we've got to really lock it down. We haven't had a whole lot of turnovers on offense in the last couple of weeks, right? But we also haven't gotten any turnovers recently. We've turned the ball over on downs and on missed field goals. We've gotten the ball because you get the ball wherever the ball is kicked from, whenever it's missed. But we have not forced turnovers in the traditional turnover sense, right? Also, their defense has 36 sacks on the season, which is 6th in the NFL. And the Chiefs have given up 32 sacks on the season, which is 7th most in the NFL. So seeing what our tackle situation is like throughout the week is going to be huge. And you bet your tail I'm going to be paying attention to that very closely. I'm going to be seeing, okay, is DJ Humphries ready to go? If not, is Joe Thuney getting enough reps at tackle to see if he can step out and be ready to go against some of the better pass rushers in the NFL? Right? I think they have 4 guys with 3 or more sacks. So they have several guys who can get after the quarterback. So I'm prepared for a slobber knocker. I've said that a few times.
It's true.
I'm prepared for just an all-out brawl on the field, and I don't think this is going to be a blowout one way or another. I see another touchdown or less than a touchdown field goal winning a game kind of game.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. I'm worried about our players. Last time that this happened, we lost one of our key players.
Oh, man.
But it was to our own guy.
It was kind of a fluke, man. That was a fluke.
Yeah, no, it was.
It was on Patrick Mahomes' absolute worst play in his career.
Yeah.
So it's
yeah.
But overall health of the players is coming down to being very important, especially with us having 3 games in 11 days coming up. So
yeah, that's going to be something that we really have to focus on. But I think I agree with everything you said. We just, against this team, their offense is just so much better than the Raiders usually is.
Right.
And so we're going to have to play even better. It's not like we're playing a team like the Raiders again this week. Okay, let's improve. Let's do better than what we did against a similar team. We've played the Panthers,
yeah,
and then we played the Raiders, and now
right.
we're playing the Chargers, led by Jim
Right.
Harbaugh and Justin Herbert. So it's just going to be a lot more stressful.
The Chargers are going to have Derwin James back, which Derwin James is going to be on Travis Kelce or DeAndre Hopkins, which Derwin James has caused havoc. He wasn't in that first game because he was suspended for something that happened the week prior. But, him being in the game is it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. Derwin James always plays us well. Joey Bosa, Khalil Mack, these guys are good at what they do, and I'm fully expecting them to try to absolutely bum rush our offensive line with rushing 4 or 5 guys at a time for most of the game.
But if the line can hold, it sounds like Xavier Worthy might be able to have a game if the focus is on Kelce and DeAndre Hopkins.
Well, I mean him. You also got Noah Gray.
No, yeah.
So Xavier Worthy, Noah Gray should be guys we should be looking for. Justin Watson.
Yep.
Who we didn't talk about, had a no look. He caught a no look pass from Patrick Mahomes last week
in the end zone.
How did we not talk about that in the end zone? It's all right. It's all right. We're on to the next game.
Because it's just so normal. It's just
it's normal. It's normalized.
Just get better, like everyone else.
Yep.
Because this is our normal now.
Yep.
So, but that was actually a really cool play.
Really
I'm not gonna lie. I was
the float. Yeah.
Anyways, it was so good. Anyway.
So that's those are the we've got everything, all the above, right? All the above.
It's just all the same issues that we've been talking about are just continuing into this week. And this seems like it's going to be more of a high stakes week. I mean, we gotta figure it out, and I think that's what they were feeling at the end of the game. Like, we're going against the Chargers next week. We can wrap up this game, but we got to figure out next week. So
yeah, I mean, so I've kind of already said it, but going into this game, we have to maintain a pocket for Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Right? We also need to be able to run the ball. We can't go an entire half only having 4 designed runs again, especially against the Chargers. Right? The Chargers are going to try to make us one-dimensional, and they're going to try to get after the quarterback. We have to be able to read that and run the ball. Right? We've got to be able to do that. There was a point that Joshua Williams came in, and he for Najee Johnson, and he looks really good.
Yeah.
So Joshua Williams coming in, looking really good. It kind of gave you hope a little bit, and then also, Jaden Hicks coming in and playing safety, like he's looked really good as well. Andy Reid had some high praise for him. Maybe that's something we kind of need. We need Joshua Williams to come in and maybe start for Najee Johnson. Initially we had Kingsley starting the first 2 games for us at left tackle, and Wanye came in and he played decent for the first couple of games. Maybe that's something we need to happen with Najee Johnson, where we bring in Joshua Williams, and he kind of takes that mantle, right, and maybe lights a fire under Najee Johnson, saying, "Hey, I need to be better." So we'll see. We'll see kind of what plays out with that. But those are my keys. Maybe getting a little bit of a change in our defensive back room, and then also being able to maintain a pocket for Patrick Mahomes to pass in, and running the ball to help open up the pass. Those are my big keys. Yeah,
I agree. Yeah. How do you think it's gonna play out?
Well, so this game worries me. Okay.
Yeah. No, we have the refs.
We do have the refs, and I did tell them that we need to win at any cost.
At any cost.
And
we
so
need that number 1 seed.
I put some money into it. I might not have a savings account now, but I put some money into it.
That's because you're betting on the Super Bowl.
That's because I'm betting on the Super Bowl.
That's called tampering and bribery.
If the NBA referees can do it, why can't we do it in the NFL?
That's true.
That's true. If Pete Rose can do it for baseball, why can't I do it for NFL?
Yes.
Although I'm not a player. But I think the Chiefs do pull this win out, but I don't think I'm going to be happy throughout the game. I think this game, if we get lazy on defense, if we can't get to Herbert and our secondary players, yes, I said that the way I wanted to. If our secondary players don't maintain coverage, we can definitely lose this game. And we need to run the ball, man. We need to run the ball. We just hey. We just need to run the ball.
Run the ball.
Kareem Hunt was averaging one of the higher yards per rush in the NFL at one point. And I know Isaiah Pacheco's back, but dear God, get Kareem Hunt the ball. If Kareem Hunt is in on second down, 50% of the time he's in on second down, he should be getting the ball. In my opinion. Right? So Isaiah Pacheco carried first and third downs. Kareem Hunt carried second downs mostly. There were some times Pacheco did first and second downs, and Kareem came in for third downs. And I think it's really just the packages we build based on the group of plays we have that we're going to be calling. But man, Kareem Hunt needs to eat. And yes, Isaiah Pacheco is back, and he was our number one guy, and I get that, but we can't deprive our offense by curbing the guy that helped us get to where we're at.
Yeah.
So that's kind of
Is this game at home or away?
This is a home game.
Oh, really? Then we're screwed.
We've already played in Los Angeles.
So our red zone percentage
Mm-hmm.
is 40% at home. Our away percentage is 65.
65%. Yeah. We have a worse. Yeah.
Which
is not good. It's like we get lackadaisical at home. It's like we get lackadaisical at home. But yeah, it is a Sunday night game, so I mean, we'll see.
But we should probably get his stats for prime time is really good.
Yeah.
So, like how do we?
Right.
No, I mean, I think that it's going to be close. As much as I would like to see it be over 50% for a home game, I think it's going to be like a field goal
victory. Yeah,
I think so.
Come down to a field goal,
but that's what I think.
So
and I would love it. I would pay the refs twice as much as what I'm paying them now, if they prove me wrong. For legal reasons, we're not paying off the refs.
For
legal reasons. We don't have the money to pay off the refs.
It would be ironic that games we think, this is going to be a rock'em sock'em type of game.
Knocker.
It would be this game that we think is going to be super close, that we win by a lot. But I'll
say that every single week.
I don't think that's possible.
Yeah.
I don't, against the Chargers. So we have had, we have 11 wins, and we have played in 10 one-score games.
Yeah. Our one loss was by more than
a score, and then we beat we've played in 9 because the Saints and the 49ers were both by more than one score.
Yeah.
But still.
The Panthers played us closer than the 49ers.
49ers.
That's wild.
Looking crazy.
That's wild.
But
yeah.
Yeah, that's so that's kind of all we got for now.
Yeah.
I don't want to say I'm not stoked for this one, guys. I'm not stoked for this one.
No, don't say that.
Not stoked.
Don't say that.
I am worried, and I mean, I guess we'll just see what happens.
Okay.
We'll see what happens. So you got anything else, Josiah?
No. The refs need to do their job. That's all I'm saying. Like,
hey, do your job.
They're doing a really good job of keeping it close. I understand why they're doing it. They don't want everyone to know what the plan is. Like, I mean, but
Jawan
people
Taylor
are
for
penalties
like crazy.
All the smart people on Twitter who are saying that the refs are rigging it for us, are almost, almost acting like they don't know anything about football. Like, the refs are doing their job.
That's what they're supposed to do. Help us win football games.
Help us win football games.
Because I'm paying for that.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah. Well,
okay.
I mean, sports betting isn't legal here for another year, so I mean, what are we gonna do?
I live in Kansas, so it's legal.
Oh, that's right. And I don't bet, so
true.
That's true.
It's true. All right. Well, after all that nonsense, make sure you're liking, you're commenting, you're subscribing.
You know what time it is?
What time is it?
To end the podcast.
Oh, is that?
Yeah.
Is that a thing we're doing now?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. Anyway,
nice. This is always a disaster.
Only whenever I'm here.
Only whenever you're here. Kind of like it though.
I do too. It's fun.
It's like me with all my exes. I can fix you.
Okay.
I can fix you.
Yeah. Leave while you still can.
There's a reason why they're all exes. So yeah, you don't have anything else.
Nope.
I'm done rambling because nobody wants to see that. I guess until next time, guys, that kingdom come.